No, excited to get back started in spring ball. There's a lot of new faces in the coaching staff, and there's a lot of new faces that are going to be on the field. But it's exciting. It's exciting to get a new, fresh start with installing a new offense, new defense, and I think the energy in the building. I think the guys are excited about learning the systems and excited about Coach McIntyre, excited about Rich Rod. So a lot of energy in the building, a lot of excitement, and ready to get started.
Matt, when you guys recruited Grant Tisdale, it was a little bit of a different offensive system, different offensive coordinator. How do you think his skill set plugs into what Rich Rodriguez is bringing to the offense?
No, I think it fits really, really well. That's and it's so important that he's here in mid-year. And the way we're going to go 4 with the 1s, 3 with the 2s, and then 2 with the 3s. That way we're able to get all the quarterbacks reps. But to answer your question, Grant is a very, very good thrower. He comes from a great program in Allen, but he's also a very willing runner. So I think he has the ability to do both, and that's really what we want to do. We still want to be balanced with a little bit more of a emphasis on running the football, especially in the red zone.
When you talk about that balance, Matt, what do you expect this offense to look like in terms of run versus pass?
Well, you know what? I think part of being a good offense is doing what your skill set allows it to do. And I think, Coach Rodriguez, he's known as from quarterback run, but he's also had systems where he's had, talented passers and talented receivers. So I think, getting a feel this spring will be very, very important. But I do want a physical blue-collar mindset. Now, I think that's the edge that he'll bring to the offense in a run first and set up the play action off of it mentality. But, again, a lot of it will be predicated on Matt Corral and how he does, and then some of these young receivers as well.
Can you comment on the health of Montrell, Custis, Jalen Jones, and DeMarcus Gregory?
Yeah, so DeMarcus will be out there. DeMarcus Gregory will be out there practicing. Custis and Jalen Jones still have a ways to go, so they'll be in green jerseys. They'll be doing the walkthroughs, but won't be able to participate in any of the team drills or endo. But they will be out there in green jerseys, and just so to help with the installation of the new defense.
You talked a little bit about developing at wide receiver. Obviously, a lot of bodies to replace in that room right now. What do you expect from the receivers that you have in? I know you got a couple of early enrollees and also some young players returning.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some talented guys in there, and it's their turn to step up. I think one of the unique things that you've seen in our receiver room is even Dante Moncrief passing along the work ethic, and it's kind of gone on down the line, all the way down to AJ and DK, but now it's time for a new crop of receivers to step up, and I'm really excited. Elijah made a bunch of plays for us last year, so he'll be back. Same thing with Braylon Sanders, but now Miles has got to step up. Excited about what Dontario Drum has done since he's been here. So it's just an opportunity for a lot of young guys to step up.
Matt, with the I guess the new NCAA rules that's allowing y'all some time on the field, non-ball stuff with your team, how much install have you guys been able to accomplish over the last 3 weeks?
It's very, very beneficial for us to get our morning runs in and then go through walkthroughs. We're way further ahead than we would normally be because you can do a lot more in a walkthrough than you can actually in a meeting room. So I think that rule's been really good, especially in our case where we're installing a new offense and a new defense. We've got 9 or 10 installs in already before practice, so I think it'll be a little bit cleaner than it normally would be because of those.
Matt, you signed a lot of offensive linemen, but to my knowledge, most of them are not here right now. How much is current depth of offensive line just a challenge in terms of what you want to do in the spring?
Yeah, it will certainly be a challenge. We're going to be running 3 groups, so we have enough for 3 groups. But I think until those other guys show up, it will definitely be a challenge. But it'll also give the opportunity for a lot of guys to get a bunch of reps that need it. I think it's kind of taken care of on the right side with Alex and Ben. Eli's done a great job at center. We've kind of used a couple different lineups with Royce at left tackle and Chandler Tuitt at left guard, but also with Bryce Matthews at tackle and Royce in left guard. So it'll definitely be a work in progress. Everybody always laughs at me when I tell them the job is to try to get the 5 best O-linemen out there, and I think that's what we'll use these 15 practices to determine. But we do have a lot of guys that have got a bunch of reps. Bryce and Royce. Those guys, Chandler Tuitt, they've been in the program a while, and now it's their turn to step up.
Coach, you talk about installing a new defense. How have the edge players kind of adjusted from maybe a shift from an end to outside linebacker position?
Yeah, so it has been a little bit of a change with those defensive ends. Some of them playing outside linebacker, some of the longer inside linebackers moving to outside linebacker. But the one thing I do like is the focus that it creates. You know, there's going to be there's going to be their own position, and there's going to be a lot more focus and attention to detail. And they're going to, there's going to be one coach coaching those guys, and it's going to be very specific. And then on third down, they're going to walk down and play some defensive end too in some pass rush situations. But I'm excited about it.
Who are some of those outside linebacker guys that moved out from inside or moved down from?
Yeah, so the two that have really jumped out, Kadir Shepard and Chuck Wiley. I mean, Chuck Wiley has had a really good offseason. He's really impressed me moving forward. We moved Cavante Ruggs out there. Jonathan Hess is one of those guys that we moved out there. So I think a lot of those guys will be able to have that length and play in space. I think that really helps. And then on third down, we take the nose guard out, bring those guys in. They play defensive end, and they can rush the passer. Sam Williams is a new guy. He'll be out there in that same position. Yep, he'll start outside backer. Just depend upon how big if he continues to grow, he may can move inside. But right now, he's just such a good athlete, and that's what he did really well in junior college is rush the passer. So I'm looking forward to seeing him coming off the edge.
What is Devon Pitman's status?
Yeah, so Devon is getting in really good shape. He looks pretty good right now, so I think we'll be able to see him for the first time in a while, at the running back spot. But he is looking good, starting to cut, change directions, doing all the things that we need him to do. So looking forward to seeing him back in action.
I guess just going in general, you have so many early enrollees this year. Is it easier to coach new schemes when you have complete blank slates to coach, or would you prefer to have maybe a more veteran presence to kind of lead you through it?
I think you always
Yeah.
want more veteran presence, but I do think it does create opportunities and to really build this thing the way we want it. I think to build that blue collar, hard nosed, unselfish mentality. I think when you have young players, you can build it that way. And these guys are hungry and they want to step in and do well. But I think we have 11 mid-year enrollees that are here. That's certainly going to help because you get 15 practices and all the walkthroughs. They'll be that far ahead when we get started in August.
I know you hadn't done full speed yet, but has any in off season, any of those 11 caught your eye and you said, whoa, okay, good deal?
I mean, several of them have, again, and it's probably a little bit too early to tell, but, Jared Connor, he's just a good kid, hard worker. I think he fits right in that running back room. So I've been very impressed with him. Jaden is very fast, Jaden Jackson at receiver. He's got a lot of ability. He's got the extra gear that you want. It'll be interesting how he handles getting off press and some of those things, but very explosive. Dontario, coming from junior college, he's a little bit more developed. He does some natural things. He's a playmaker, so I'm really excited about him. And then you got Grant and Kincaid at quarterback. You really don't know much till they get out there and go live. Jonathan Haynes, everybody knows we need safety depth, so I'm excited to see what he's going to do. He's been working really well. Tay Stanifer's coming off that Achilles injury, so you won't see him much. He'll be in a green jersey. Sistrunk, I kind of got a good feeling about him. He's already gone from 190 to 210 pounds since he's been here. So he's 210 already, and we haven't even, got started. So I think if he can get to 220, 225 as he continues to grow, I think he's going to be a really good inside backer. So excited about him. And then Sam Williams we talked about, and Jamar out there at corner. Those guys they've all been good. They've all, there's going to be that transition. They have to learn, but everybody's learning. So for these new guys, they're not coming in 2 years behind. They're coming in learning the system with everybody else. I think it gives them an opportunity to compete.
Matt, you had a lot of, off-season changes to make to your coaching staff, but Rich Rodriguez and Mike McIntyre in particular, how have they plugged in? What have you seen from them in terms of the difference they've made in the program, maybe the energy they've interjected?
You know what? I'm really excited about the experience and the knowledge they bring. I think that's your job as a leader to bring in the best people that you can. And probably what I like most is they sit in my chair, they see the big picture, they understand it. And even more importantly, our staff chemistry is really, really good. And I think that's the most important thing. I think the players, they feed off the coaches, and I think the chemistry of your staff is very, very important. And I really like the direction we're headed.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about having Tyrone Knit today with Derek Knitts?
Yeah, absolutely. We're really, really excited to have Ty back. I've always had a lot of respect for him as a person and a coach, and obviously Derek and I have worked really closely together here, but he's got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. He's going to be able to help out schematically. He's been a coordinator before. He's an outstanding recruiter. He knows the area. He checks all the boxes, and just really excited to have him back.
Is there a specific role you'd be looking for filling this 10th assistant?
You know what? I think because of all the experience that we do have in the defensive room, there's a lot of different ways we could go. But the most important thing is obviously fit. I want it to be the right fit. I've told a couple people I don't want it to be necessarily just a one-for-one swap, but I want the best fit and the person that fits our room the best. And there's a lot that goes into it schematically. Being able to capture the hearts and minds of your players in your room and coach, and then obviously recruiting is a huge part. So there's a lot of different parts of it, but the thing you want to do is not rush into anything, but to take your time and make the best hire for this program.
So you do expect it to be a defensive hire?
Absolutely, yeah.
Matt, not a spring question, but you got 9 former players who are going to be at the NFL Combine. Just a general comment on those guys and, how you expect them to perform up there.
I think they're all performed great. I'm just excited that you see all their hard work pay off. Some of these guys you've been knowing since they were 9th, 10th graders, and just really excited. Some of these, it was their lifelong dream to be there. So for them to see it come to reality and have that opportunity is really cool, and very, very good representatives of Ole Miss, not only on the field but off the field. Just excited for those guys.
Matt, when you make a good amount of staff changes, how long does it typically take for those guys to kind of get up with what you're trying to do? And is there kind of a time where all right, it's finally gelled, it's working? Is there a moment, or is it a feeling? How does that kind of work?
Well, I think we spend so much time together that I think it generally happens faster than you think. We're in the room, we're trying, and you kind of get thrown into the fire with all these walkthroughs and practice, and you're getting ready for spring ball. So, you kind of build it. You kind of get thrown into the fire and you gel together because of how much time you spend together. But overall, I really love the staff chemistry that we have. I love the knowledge. It's a really good mixture of energy and knowledge, and I think the guys are hungry to get on the field today.
I think you've said the word chemistry like 3 or 4 times talking about the new staff changes. Is that something that has been lacking in the past few years?
No, I just think it's something that's really important. I think chemistry is a huge part. I think people can feel it. I think the players can see it. I think the fans can sense it. And it's just a huge part. And it's the same thing. It's not only with coaching staff, it's with your team. I think each team is different. Each team has its own identity, own personality, and own chemistry. And I think that's the kind of the secret sauce between a really good season and an average season.